Let's eat!
This is Let's Eat with host Zane Caplansky on NEWSTALK 1010.
Welcome back to the show. I'm absolutely sick about the news that's going on, as this show is as well, and it's sickening. It's sickening to see this happen a few hours away from where we are right now, and this could be us. It's beyond. It's beyond imagination. But like I said before, we will update you as the day goes on and as things progress with the situation in Pittsburgh. And I truly believe the best thing that we can do is to move forward. And if you're in your car and you're joining us, thanks for coming back to the show. I truly love being able to use this show and as a platform to connect people. And Mathieu Beausoleil contacted me via Facebook Messenger a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I think it was about a year and a half ago when we connected. Yeah, for sure.
And, I love the fact that technology really allows that kind of person-to-person kind of thing. And I've had people truly all over the world reach out to me, and some kinder than others, truly. Sword cuts both ways, as they say. But Mathieu is a food passionate guy out of Ottawa, originally from Sudbury, who I really love, as I've sort of watched from the sidelines from your social media, seeing the way your story has evolved over the last that period of time.
Yep.
And your passion for food has taken you in a direction that really isn't common or usual. And so I thought the idea of having you on the show to talk about how you went from passionate cook to tech guy to host of a Bell Digital show called Taking a Bite.
Yeah,
how's that for an intro? That's pretty good.
That's a good intro. Yeah. That's a good intro. I mean, it says a lot about me. And, the reality is, in the last year and a half since we've connected, lots has happened, for sure. But, I mean, this story goes back way far when I was a little kid, right? I mean, when I was, I don't know, let's say 8 years old, our parents, my parents, me and my sister's parents, they always used to bring us to fine dining establishments. We loved eating. We had a refined palate. We loved that stuff. But I always asked to talk to the chef. Every time. Even as a kid, I remember being brought into restaurants all around the world, into the kitchen, and the chefs showing me what they're doing, and it was always interesting to me.
My dad used to facilitate that for me as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. He
used to say, my son's interested in the restaurant business. Would you mind giving him a tour?
Yeah.
And when I was 5, 6, 7, some of my earliest memories, I got a tour of Napoleon's by the owner, the maitre d' at the time. I got a tour of Winston's. These are old Toronto eating establishments that are long gone, and. Yeah, it's so formative, isn't it?
It is. And you know what?
What a wonderful memory.
Like, the reality is that I always had a passion for food, right? My size tells you that. Just kidding. Maybe not. But the reality is, from a young age, I had that passion. I mean, in high school, I was one of the only guys that took culinary because, I like that stuff.
It's also a good way to meet girls.
Yeah, well, I am a social butterfly after all. But, I mean... I chose to do culinary. My first TV appearance was on TFO, the French TV show, and I was a kid in high school doing muffins, banana muffins. I remember it clear as day. I've been trying to secure that video. Can't find it anymore. But, and then when I was going into post-secondary education, I thought, what am I going to do? I want to become a chef. I don't know why I was so close-minded thinking that I was going to stay in Sudbury, Ontario. It's a beautiful city. It's a small city. I'm a big city kind of guy. I like to be social. I like to take part in activities. I'm a philanthropist, not in money, but in time. And I like to take part. And you know what? I want to be somewhere there's a lot of stuff that I can do, a lot of things that I can help with. And so I don't know why I thought of it, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to stay in Sudbury. That was my idea. And I'm like, do I become a chef in Sudbury? I really like the fine plating, the fine dining scene. And you know what? It's not super present. There are some great restaurants like Verdicchio's in Sudbury that are fantastic, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to go into IT. There's lots of IT jobs. There's money in IT. Not a lot of women in IT. I'll keep the food and the women on the side. But you know what? It was a good decision because, I mean, I still to this day work in IT. I'm an IT manager by day. So, I mean, that was good. It was my breadwinner. And the other idea was I'm going to be a family man. You know, I want to have kids. I have 3 boys, 6, 4, and 6 months.
Wow, mazel tov, 6 months. That's incredible.
6 months, yeah. I don't sleep.
6, 4, and 6 months. Wow, that's a handful.
3 boys.
Good eaters?
They are active. They are. They love to eat everything I make, which is amazing.
Perfect.
It could be duck. It could be blood sausage. It could be whatever. They're going to eat it, right? My wife, on the other hand, not so much.
Really?
Well, that's actually how I became kind of a social media guy, was that, I like foie gras and beef tenderloin, and my wife likes chicken fingers and fries. So I was making all these fancy plates, and I was like, what am I going to do? Like, who's going to eat these plates? So I decided that my camera would, right? So started taking photos of my food, putting them up on Twitter. Twitter was really active back then. All the big chefs were on there. And I started,
Back then, like, how long ago were we talking here? Like,
6 years ago.
okay.
6 years ago, 7 years ago, I was in Sudbury still. I was
And you're
working in
posting
IT.
under your name, Mathieu Beausoleil?
Yeah, I was myself at Mathieu Beausoleil. And so, you know what? I was just some guy from Sudbury posting pictures of food. I started trying to get attention from different chefs and Gordon Ramsay and whatnot. And
Gordon Ramsay retweeted you?
Yes.
Wow.
Several times.
Wow.
He actually retweeted my Thanksgiving turkey and was like, "Happy Thanksgiving, Canada." And I was like, yes.
Wow.
That is an achievement.
That's a big deal.
It is.
That's
It is.
huge.
You know what? That's one of the reasons that really actually kickstarted my
Is that
real
right?
drive for pushing
Wow.
myself for food, right? I started posting stuff, and then he would comment, like, share. And then one night I woke up, I remember it was like
more than
2 in the
once?
morning. Oh, yeah, several times, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can go see it. If you search at
I'm sure,
Mathieu
I bet.
Beausoleil and
Yeah.
at Gordon Ramsay. You don't see it under my profile because now I'm a new brand, right?
Yeah.
But you can find it. So I woke up at like 2 in the morning and I look at my phone and it says, "Gordon Ramsay is now following you." And I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
I woke up my wife. I'm like, "Oh my God, Gordon Ramsay is following me on Twitter." And she's like, "No way." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is legit." So, and he had said, "You should try out for MasterChef." And that's when I was like, "Oh my God, I should try out for MasterChef." So, I mean, it was kind of like an omen, right? It's like, Gordon Ramsay just told you to do this.
Let me, for anybody who's just tuning in, I mean, let's paint a really thumbnail sketch of this. I mean, you're now living in Ottawa.
Yeah.
You're an IT manager. You've got a wife and maybe a kid or two on the way, and right now you have 3, but at the time, and you're getting invited by Gordon Ramsay to audition for MasterChef. I mean, that's a huge. What a.
Oh my God.
Crazy
It was
thing to have happen.
incredible, right?
Yeah.
Actually at that point we just had the one baby and I was like, well, I'm gonna do this. And we had just had Zach and I was like, okay, well, that's it. I'm gonna do this. I look online and it was like the audition was in 3 days for MasterChef Canada. And I'm like, oh my God. So I submitted my stuff. I got invited for a VIP audition.
Now, what's really cool about that too is that the Gordon Ramsay isn't one of the judges on MasterChef Canada.
Yeah.
So that he would have the awareness.
Yeah.
And had his eyes open.
Yeah.
And also saw that in that's what MasterChef is. I mean, we had Mary Berg on the show, and Mary actually worked for me at the deli. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and so did Aaron, her husband.
Right.
Both incredibly special, wonderful people,
Right.
and just the kind of people you want to be around all the time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like just lovely to have. And Mary actually didn't work for me for very long, but actually, we've had all 3 of the judges on the show as well. We've had all those guys. So tell us about your. Actually, you know what? We're gonna take a bit of a break. When we come back from the break,
For sure.
I want to hear more about the MasterChef journey.
Cool.
And I also want to hear about Taking a Bite.
Yeah.
And if people wanted to find Taking a Bite before we get to the break, where do people find
any social media? So Instagram and Twitter primarily.
TAKIN.
Yeah, Taking a Bite. And
what's it about?
TakingABite.com. So it's all about my
20
food
seconds
journey.
or less, yeah.
Food journey. It's all about food I make, food I consume, and food I want to share with everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's digital video, it's social media, it's...
Yeah, so I recorded a TV show recently with Bell Media called Taking a Bite Ottawa.
Yeah.
I go into real professional kitchens and I cook their signature dish. Sometimes we competed on who can make the best dish. Sometimes I won.
Wow, let's talk more about that because we're
right.
it sounds like we're gonna have a great final segment of the show. That's Mathieu
Beausoleil.
Mathieu. That's not easy for me to pronounce.
No,
Mathieu
it's good.
Beausoleil.
You're doing great.
Thank you very much. And you're listening to
Let's Eat! This is Let's Eat with host Zane Caplansky on NEWSTALK 1010.
Welcome back to the show. Of course, my heart is heavy today with the news of what's happening in Pittsburgh, and our eyes are on screens seeing what's going on there. But this is live radio, folks, and Mathieu Beausoleil is my guest for the last segment of the show as well. We started talking to Mathieu at the bottom of the hour, and Mathieu is a tech guy. You're
A tech guy.
don't worry about that. It'll be fine.
All right.
It'll be
All
fine.
right.
loves to cook in his spare time, but take pictures of his food and post on social media. People love like that. So people like to ridicule sometimes everyone who takes pictures of their food in restaurants and so on. But the world of social media as it pertains to food is really, really important.
Yep.
And it's connected. And Gordon Ramsay,
100%.
who's one of the biggest players in the world in both restaurants and media, and he's also one of the, I'm sure he's got an executive producer credit for MasterChef US.
Yeah. And Canada. He's got a big part in Canada as well.
Oh, does he as well? Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
So tell me about your So he told you to audition for MasterChef and you got in.
Yeah. I mean, once he followed me and told me that, I'm like, are you kidding me? Seriously? And, I went and did the whole audition process.
He phoned you and told you got in?
No, it was on Twitter. Okay. No, on Twitter. He had told me to
audition. Right.
Yeah. And actually, one of his sous chefs was one of the culinary judges on the show or during the audition process. And I remember telling him, I'm like, yeah, actually, Gordon Ramsay followed me and told me to come here. And he's like, no way. So I showed him my phone, right? Because I'm like, this is real. This is not fake.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, this is his account, right? This does say it's certified by Twitter, right? He's verified. So he took my my evaluation page and just went away with it. He's like, okay, we'll talk later. And I'm like, okay, that's either a really good thing or a bad thing. So I went through the whole process.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I did it for 3 seasons. Obviously,
3 seasons?
Yeah, the first 3 seasons. Second season, I did really well too. I was shortlisted for the 3 seasons. Second season, I did tons of media work in Sudbury.
I was never even aware they bring people back for multiple seasons.
Well, I guess I was somewhat good because I got called back 2 times, right?
They're bringing back
2
for
times.
3 seasons of I always thought that every season was like a standalone thing.
It is. But I mean, if you were good, I guess they want you to come back and try again, right?
So where did you finish the first season?
I don't know. They don't know. So I didn't end up like if you watch the first episode of the first 3 seasons, you'll see me. You'll get a glimpse of me, right? But then I didn't get cast for the top 50 in the first 2 seasons, and then the third season I think it was top 30 or something like that. So I mean, I know
what was that whole experience
everybody.
like? What's it like backstage? What's the intense? Is it real?
So what you but what you see on I never made it to the actual show, right? The filming part. So I mean, I was on camera and you see me and I went through like the audition and the testing and whatever, the interview process and so I'm not going to give away too many secrets, but that's what I did and I went through all the steps leading up to that, and it was just a couple weeks before filming where, I got the cut. And but you know what? Even though I didn't make that show, here I am today with my own TV show in Ottawa called Taking a Bite.
So how'd that happen?
Basically what happened is Bell Media reached out and they're like, hey, we'd like...
So just you continued to take pictures of your food, post it to Instagram, post it to Facebook and Twitter? So
Food from Sudbury, moved to Ottawa. I started doing social media there. Got picked up. They wanted me to be a celebrity judge at a stew cook-off for the Winterlude Festival, which is one of the biggest winter festivals in the world. And I was like, wow, celebrity judge. I'm like, I'm new here, right? And they're like, we love what you're doing. You're promoting food. The restaurants love you. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So I rebranded myself. As Capital Foodie. I wanted to be something that was relevant in Ottawa. People didn't know my name. I was new. So I'm like, if I go as Capital Foodie, people will be like, hey, I remember that, Capital Foodie. It has a nice ring to it, right? Did that. And then I was invited to the F Word in Hollywood last summer, where I judged and critiqued food on the show The F Word on Fox, which is one of the coolest things. I got an email saying, hey, Gordon Ramsay would like to invite you to Hollywood. And I'm like, oh my God. I swear my heart stopped for a couple seconds.
That's crazy.
Just a couple, because I'm still here.
Gordon Ramsay would like to invite you to Hollywood.
Yeah, so I got invited. It was on my own dime, however. So my wife and I, we hopped on a plane and went to LA the next week, and we didn't even know we didn't know that what our role was or what my role was. I critiqued and judged the dishes. I actually critiqued it on camera, but it's a live show, right? The F Word. So they basically take segments and they cut segments, and unfortunately my review didn't get cut. It got cut, sorry. However, Gordon Ramsay's review of the dishes when he spoke was my critique, which is kind of cool. I know that. You don't know that. But if you watch the show, I was there. We had a table that was very visible. Yeah. And the best part was we got to spend 10 minutes with Gordon himself. He came over.
Was that your first time actually meeting him?
100%, yeah.
And?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was it?
The best story, and my wife was like, as if you said that, he came to our table and he's like, oh, Matthew, how you doing, right? You came from Ottawa. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what's your blog again? So I tell him, right? And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, bullshit, man. You don't know my blog. And I'm like, I don't expect you to know my blog. I said, but I just want you to know that you had a huge impact on my culinary journey. And he was like, oh, stop it. And I'm like, no, seriously. You know, it makes a big difference in someone's life when you love to do something and then it's, you know, it's quantified by somebody as big as yourself.
Yeah,
right?
huge.
Yeah. And we talked about Ottawa and how much he loved it and how he would reach out when he comes to Ottawa next time. And which is, it's amazing. I mean,
So let's take us back to taking a bite.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great. This is fantastic.
Yeah, but so I did that. I'm just going to say one more thing. I competed
yeah.
in Montreal on a show called Meilleur que le Chef. Meilleur que le Chef, so better than the chef. And I competed against Chef Martin Junot, who's a 3-time gold medal plate winner. And basically, there were 4 amateurs, 1 chef. We went through several rounds. I won as the home cook. My last challenge, even though I had won the prize, was to compete against Martin Junot. So I made what I think was more innovative than his dish. The judge even told me, she's like, it was just such a small technicality that I lost on. And but I was so happy. And he spoke so well of my cooking, which to me was huge.
Yeah.
To hear that my skill, my knowledge, and my risk and my
So you
undertaking.
you like culinary competition, obviously. You do,
Oh
'cause
yeah,
you keep
I
going
love
back
it.
to it.
It drives me, man. It
Wow.
drives me. It was stressful. I mean, we had 20-minute sessions to cook, and they were actually 20 minutes, man. They're like, you got 20 minutes to cook this dish, go. And they uncover the table, and off we went. And
So that's what you call the classic black box challenge.
yeah, basically it was a black box. It wasn't called that, but it was that, right? The final was 15 ingredients on a table. We had to do brunch, and I'm not a big brunch guy.
And is it just you in a kitchen, or is there an audience, or how does it work?
So there was about 20 crew and me and the chef, and then there's a host who was Danny St. Pierre. And it was great. I mean, I made a really cool take on a French toast, and I did a blood pudding crumble and a maple caramel and with some fresh figs, and it was awesome. I was so happy with my performance and what I did. It was pretty incredible.
And I'm still dying here by taking a bite.
So that's where Taking a Bite comes from, right?
Oh.
So I did all that stuff. That show aired on a Bell Media network. And
The
Meilleur que le Chef. Yeah. And
Better than the chef?
Yeah. So Bell Media 5 TV1 in Montreal. I was on their radar, right? Basically, that's what happened. So they contacted me and they're like, hey, we've got content opportunities in Ottawa. We'd like to talk, right? One sentence. I'm like, is this a real email? I wasn't sure.
So again, let's just make sure that we're including everybody in the conversation.
Yes.
So there are your standard broadcast cable channels, your NBCs and ABCs.
Yep.
You've got your other cable networks, your Food Networks of the world, and Discovery, CNNs, and those things. And there are now digital channels, and Bell has a number of those.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so they're looking for content.
Right.
They're looking for people to make shows.
100%.
That are going to appeal to people that are going to be digital. Now, how much of the production? Who does the production of it?
I was in charge of 100% of my show, and that was the biggest fear for myself.
When I say production, that means that Mathieu, and we're talking Mathieu Beausoleil from Ottawa, is shooting, cutting, lights, sound, all the video that you see and people can see the show. It's Taking a Bite Ottawa.
Yeah.
At takinabite.com. Thank you.
Yeah, you can also see it on Bell 5 TV. It'll be on there for 5 years. So if you have Bell 5 TV, you can go on demand and search for my name or Taking a Bite, no G in Taken.
Is it free or do you have to pay for it?
It's free. If you are a Bell 5 TV 1 subscriber, it's free. But I also have now put up little episodes, mini episodes on YouTube.
Neat.
So you can see those on Twitter or on YouTube. It's Taking a Bite as well, and you can see all different stuff. And I'm going to be doing some more videos soon. But the craziest part was it happened so fast, and I didn't do the filming and the editing myself. I hired people to do that, but I ran that business, right?
For sure.
So I actually had to find somebody to produce my show. I had to, I was the executive
You're the
producer.
executive producer. That's
I had to find everybody to do everything, right? And it was crazy. It was a crazy project.
That's awesome.
And we filmed everything in one take. And that's the craziest part. If you watch the show, there's a couple things you might be like, they could have done that better. And it's like, yeah. But if you know that we did it in one take, I mean, it was basically live, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm impressed with what we came up with from a live perspective. Bell wants to do more shows with me, which is a great sign. Obviously my dream is to do food TV at a greater level. I mean, I would love to have a show on the Food Network. Like I said, I had a spot for 2 weeks.
I will tell you that I know that Crystal Look's mother listens to this show. I wouldn't say religiously because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I know that she does listen. So
That's great. That's great.
And I know that she calls.
I'm here for you.
There you go.
But I'd love to do food TV. That's my dream. I love, I think one of the best parts of food or about food for me is that no matter the race, no matter the culture, food brings people together.
It connects. It
and
absolutely connects.
I just absolutely love that. And that's what I try and do with social media and share food and share what I'm doing. And people love stuff. And the other interesting thing about social media, and like you said at the beginning, right at the beginning, was that we can reach people that we wouldn't normally reach.
The technology today has allowed us, you and I, to connect with each other,
Yep,
and
exactly.
And I want to thank Mathieu Beausoleil for being on the show. You can check out Taken a Bite at if you're a Bell 5 subscriber, or at takenabite.com with no G. I want to thank Mike Catherwood and EdwardElyaki for putting together a great show today with us. Carly Falaise was our dietitian consultant at the top of the show, and I told you all about Willibald. I told you all about Tropical Joe's, and my heart breaks for the people of Pittsburgh, but thanks for listening today. Please don't touch your dial because Ted Walsh is up next. Let's see.